So,
go for it, Jose.
sorry. Okay, it's a recording progress. Okay. I will talk about the work I'm doing in the last 25 years. Is about Edessinae and Edessa and how to hide the true diversity of attacks. Okay. And why is not? It's a little bit. Edessa is a very old genus, started with Fabricius, and Fabricius included in Edessa only 43 species. So it started with as a large genus, and then Amiot and Servili, they proposed Edessinae, and they split a little bit part of these groups in new genera, like Hypoxis, Doripleura, Ceratodes, and Pigoda. But this concept was ruined by Dallas, okay? Because Dallas synonymized all these groups in Edessa and expanded the concept of Edessa in a way that we still have the consequences today. Because Stoll, let me take the pointer here. Stoll, he tried to organize Edessa in groups of species, but he failed a little bit because he used this structure as not as separate genera, but as groups of species. They use these names, the old names, but he was unable to include species in these groups. So he used these groups partially, and this creates a very complicated situation. And Kirkcaldy tried also to organize a little bit, and but he was unable to include all the species described, like 240 species in this subgenera. So we had a very strange situation with some species inside the subgenera and other species just listed under the genus. And this was the situation was a little bit worse because in the last 200 years, other authors removed and added species to Edessa, okay, including me, okay. So this the situation is even more complicated, and Edessa turned into a depot of species, just a depot of species, and with the limits very close to the subfamily to Edessinae, okay. With hundreds of described species and hundreds of new species. And it's easy to recognize new species, but it's hard to associate them with the names. So another problem in Edessa is the tag names. You have a few names for groups of species, and this is really hard to work with, okay? So all of this situation created a chaotic situation that paralyzed the study. Okay, during the last century, the study was almost reduced to a few species, and at the beginning of the century, breeding described lots of species, but now we have a very complicated situation. And all of this brought questions in my mind during the time and bring questions in my mind. What do we have? And what were we dealing with? Because the subfamily is very complicated. And for me, personally, I have a beautiful mix of colors, sizes, and shapes produced by evolution. I start from this point, okay? And what moves me forward? Passion. Passion for these bugs, because it's an unorganized group, and but I really like them very much. And secondarily, we have the scientific questions, raising hypotheses, publishing, and other scientific things, okay? But this is the group that I have to show you. Clearly not a genus, okay? And they are almost in proportion, okay? So we have the tiny ones, like this one, and huge ones, like this one. They are all new, okay? Here I have only one or two described species here. So this is the scenario I'm working with, okay? So, well, it's a monophyletic group. At least morphologically, I have well, a very good support for the subfamily, okay? And but I have to to say to you that we have to expand these branches. So for this one, for us, like for a ceratodes, I have 50 species. Okay, for peromatus, another 50 species. So if you start to open these branches, you see a lot of things. For Edessa, 200 species, more than 200 species. Okay, and Epoxys, a group that were finishing our work with this group, 60 species. So it's 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 a lot of work, it's a huge work, and we are working slowly. Another in previous analysis, we have a topology very close to this one. So I'm recovering the topologies. Uh, I think quite frequently. Okay, and this is the point we will start. Okay, 25 years ago. Okay, we have Edessa with Peromatus, Albia, Pantochlora, Mediocampus, a genus proposed by Thomas in '94, and Brachystetus that Aline and José moved to Edessinae. So for me, Edessinae was when I started was a dark room, very dark room, and I started to turn on some lights, you know, to try to understand the group. Now we have this situation. We have 17 genera, and the subgenera was reduced to 2 that I'm trying to work with them in the near future. So, and we are just trying to catch some small groups and try to organize this confusion. So what we have right now, 490 species. Well, in the Kirkcaldi's catalog were about 250 species. Now we have 490 species in 17 genera. Okay, and Edessa also had an increasing number from 240 or something like that to 330. We include some species in Edessa as well. And my group described 100 to almost 200 new species in the last 25 years. So, and here I included remarkable, and that's why I mentioned to hide the diversity, because among this huge group with shapes and colors and sizes, you have groups completely new, like Kodara, 11 species, or Edessa. Edessa is much bigger than this. We have more species to describe. And so you can, when you open the box, you see a lot of things, fresh things, okay? And here, only illustration to not be boring all the time. So here are the genera. Graziedessa was described by Joe Ija recently. Okay. Epoxys, we are finishing the study of hypoxia. We are finishing, not because the group is done, because we are we are done with the group. We don't like to see hypoxia anymore. And with 67 species, it's a quite large group, and a monophyletic group as well. Okay, and here Mediocampus described by Thomas in '94, and I have more. This part is the basal part of the cladogram. I'm not working with this group. Maybe Adam Wallner will work with me in this part of the cladogram in the future. Okay, so here you have the other species of the group. And well, this is another part of the work. Sometimes I'm not sure about what I'm doing, and I describe the new species in groups of species inside of this. So, I started with this 4 in Leiden, in the Netherlands, with Piet van Doisburg. And we do this 4 revisions to do something, because Pete used to say, we have to do something. And we started with these small groups. And the others, well, the others are part of my how can I say that? Not sure about new genre or something like that. I just described that species groups. Okay, only 33 new species, nothing really significant. Here are the groups, and but this is a new genus. This is a new genus. This is, I don't know, maybe is Mediocampus. Okay, this is a new genus. New genus. And well, to finish this idea of describing lots and lots of species and study Edessinae, I have some projects that we are developing here with students. The review of Doripleura, one of the subgenera of Edessa, 6 species and 23 new species. Something unbelievable. And French Guiana with 12 species concentrated in one mountain, the Montagne des Chapeaux. It's something hard to understand. Okay, the other group that I'm back to this group is Ascra. Ascra, only a few species to describe, in fact. I'm doing this work with Adam Wallner from USDA, and but they are bringing some biogeographical questions, very interesting. Yeah, and maybe we can work this in the near future. And now the magnificent group in Edessinae, the Peromatus genus, a group that suffers with this name, Peromatus notatus. You can find this name everywhere, all around the world, for about 56 species, new species, because I have 8 described. So it's a huge diversity, and they are not tiny like the murids. They don't have a few millimeters. They have 3 centimeters. So they are large, and they are bulky bugs. They are robust. And they are the largest pentatomids in the neotropical region in average. So it's not something small, that rare. No, they are quite common in collections. And the other to finish, I'm trying again to revise the Ceratodis. Ceratodis is a very complicated group with more than 20 species and more than 30 new species. Okay, I have to raise this to genus level as well. And this group includes the Meditabunda and Rufomarginata that are plagues. They invade cultures like tomatoes, soybean, and other Solanaceae. They can cause considerable damage to these cultures. Okay, and some conclusions. So far, in the last 25 years, I still have many species to describe, certainly more than 200, okay? Edessa will still be huge in number of species. I show you more than 200 species in Edessa, so Edessa will still be very large. And Edessinae is the largest monophyletic group of Pentatomidi so far. I don't think people will uh, find something as big as Edessinae. So they are large. They are important to understand the evolution of Pentatomidi in the tropical region. And of course, I have my personal conclusions. Edessinae is the most beautiful group of true bugs. You can say about mirids, reduvids, aradiids, tingids, but I prefer the Edessinae. Okay, and of course, due the high number of species, Edessinae must be transferred to miridae. It's unbelievable to it's hard to keep this concept, you know, that such large group is not a mirid. I will do this in the future. Of course not. I'm kidding. Okay, and thank you to you that pay attention to my speech, the organization, fantastic, and my university, my National Council of Scientific Development, my students and former students, more than 20 people who worked with me in these groups, friends and colleagues, like the late Pete van Doisburg. I learned a lot from Pete. Josélia, my scientific mother, here, you know, Josélia, and also Toby, Joe Eger, Jim Lewis, David Ryder, Harry Bralowski, Tom Henry, people that gave me the opportunity to study their material and to show me this such high diversity. And also Rolando Poli, I'm working recently with material from French Guiana, also very important in crazy material, crazy. Okay, and many other colleagues and friends that are part of my journey. Thank you.